Chapter 37, Reconstruction, Part 2. In the months between my first cancer anniversary and my second reconstruction surgery, life continued to cruise along. My days were filled with the busyness of being a mother, a teacher, a wife, and a cancer survivor. It was nice to be busy and have the distraction from my aching body. Some days I found myself not even thinking about cancer. Nonetheless, there wasn't anything that could take my mind off the tissue expanders, and as my surgery date crept closer, I found myself growing more and more impatient. I could not wait to get rid of those torture devices. They made my breasts hurt from the inside out. I don't even know if that can make sense unless you have experienced it. I felt as though I had two giant boulders sitting in my chest, pressing tightly against my skin and muscles. The tightness was agonizing, and there were many days that I felt as though my skin were screaming for mercy. Because of the tightness and pain, it made for some awkward hugs. It also made it difficult to snuggle with my little munchkins. One day, Ellie plopped down next to me on the couch, and her head hit against my chest. She sat up, rubbed the back of her head, and said, "Ouch, Mommy, that hurt." "I'm sorry, babe. I didn't mean to give you a concussion with my chest rocks." I dreamed of the day that my plastic surgeon would gently remove the boulders and replace them with soft silicone implants. I was excited to see the magic she would work and what the finished products would look like. I knew that they would never be the same as the originals, and that made me a little sad. Even though they had tried to kill me, I still missed them, and although the new set would help me feel and look normal, the truth of the matter was they would still be different. The day of my reconstruction finally came, and something about the date made me feel like it could be my lucky day. 10/11/12. Good things had to happen on a date like that. Quote from my journal. I had my reconstruction surgery today. Hooray! No more tissue expanders for me. I'm a little out of it still. I will write more about the surgery later. I just wanted to write today since the date is so cool. It is so weird to feel like I was asleep for only 2 seconds when the surgery actually took about 2 hours. I hardly remember anything. I don't remember going to the recovery room at all. I vaguely remember a nurse talking to me. We stopped by Target on the way home so that Mark could pick up my medication. Then we stopped to grab some lunch. The rest of the afternoon, I have been in and out of consciousness. I have also been extremely grumpy and irritable. I hate feeling this way. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. End quote. Sadly, tomorrow was not better. Neither was the following day. I wasn't sure why I was so grumpy. My surgery went well, and I had not experienced any complications. The evil tissue expanders were gone, and I did not have to stay in the hospital overnight. I should have been so happy. Unfortunately, somewhere between the hospital and home, my evil twin had traded places with me and was creating some very negative situations. She was allowing everyone and everything to agitate me. In hindsight, I realized that I should have just barricaded myself in my room, but at the time, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't understand why I was so irritable. I had so many people being kind to me. Friends and neighbors were bringing us dinners and taking our kids out to have some fun. My husband was so helpful and willing to do anything I asked of him. My phone was jumping around like a jackrabbit as it received text messages from many lovely family members and friends. I was being lifted up with so much love that I should have been happy, but I was not. Although I had plenty of reasons to be happy, I had just as many reasons to be grumpy. Too much anesthesia, poison, pain medication, and general discomfort over the last 1.5 years of my life had built up, and it just became too overwhelming. Unfortunately, I let the irritability take over, and my family, whom I had fought so hard for, was taking the brunt of my unkindness. They did not deserve it, but I could not stop the madness. One of the things that added to my anger was that when I stepped out of the shower and was able to see my chest for the very first time since surgery. I'm going to start that part over because I messed up. Hi, do you want to come sit with me? You want to come sit with me? Find a spot and sit down. No. Not in front of the camera.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
One of the things that added to my anger was when I stepped out of the shower and was able to see my chest for the very first time since surgery. I had naively thought that once the bandages came off, everything would look perfect. What I saw was nothing, like what I had pictured in my mind. As I stood in front of the mirror, looking at my bruised and battered breasts, I lost it. I let the anger completely take over, and there was no turning back. I was mad at the wretched cancer that took away over a year of my life. I was mad that I had to be in pain and uncomfortable, which was causing me to be grumpy with my little family. I was mad that I had to live with this new set, which was nothing like the old set, and I wanted that old set back. I was also mad that I had short hair when all I wanted to be able to do was feel my long hair against my back. I wanted to pull it up in a messy bun. I wanted to have Mark be able to run his fingers through it and play with it while we watched television. I would love to be able to write that after foaming at the mouth and raging like a lunatic, I was able to feel peace, calm, and serenity. Nope. The peace did not come because I wouldn't let it. A war of epic proportions was seething inside me, and for the moment, I was caught up in the whirlwind of negativity. Sunday morning dawned, and with it came 3 sweet, smiling, and somewhat toothless faces. As I tried to shake off sleep, I saw that my cute girlies were carrying a tray of interesting-looking food. I was instantly contrite. For the past 3 days, I had said mean things to them. I had also exhibited very little patience, and yet here they were, bringing me breakfast in bed. I looked over the tray they had placed before me. There were 2 slices of warmish cinnamon toast, a bowl of what I assumed was an apple that had been chopped up beyond recognition, the salt and pepper shakers, a glass of water, and a homemade caramel. Alongside the food was a precious handmade card that read, "We love Mom. An apple a day keeps the doctor away." It was the perfect breakfast to cure an overly grumpy mommy. Bless those cute little angels. I did not deserve the goodness that they shared. I had not been nice at all, but they forgave me. They got over the fact that I had been screaming at them for 3 days straight. They didn't care what my hair or chest looked like or if I was grumpy or ornery or sad. All they knew was that their mommy was still with them, and even though she had been horrible to them, they knew that she still loved them. Cancer had taken away a lot of things, but that's just it. They were only things. It could not take away our love for each other. As I came to that realization and thought about my angel girls, I felt the darkness leave and a sweet, peaceful feeling came back into our home. Quote from my journal. Day 428. Well, 10 days have gone by since my surgery. I'm feeling much better about everything. The swelling has gone down, and I'm pretty pleased with how everything looks. I met with Dr. Chen on Friday, and it looks like I will probably have to have surgery at least one more time. There are a couple of places where I can see the outline of the implant. I can also feel it when I rub my hand over it. I knew it was a risk and that we would probably have to go back and have her place alloderm in those spots. Alloderm is cadaver tissue. It will cushion the implant. Right now, because I have no breast tissue, it is just the implant, a thin ridge of muscle, and then my skin. So long term, it will be better to get the alloderm so that the implant doesn't end up irritating my skin from the inside out. I also saw Dr. Chandermole yesterday. I'm still on the every 3-month visit plan with him. My white blood count is still a little low, but that's normal. It also explains why I'm a little sluggish. That and I just had surgery. But other than those things, everything else looks good. I could not wait to get rid of those torture devices. They made my breasts hurt from the inside out. I don't even know if that can make sense unless you've experienced it. I felt as though I had 2 giant boulders. What is it with the animals and the camera? Anna. She just... Hello.
Cappy, Anna. Hey, yo.
Anna.
Get out of there.
Move out of the way.
I'm
Let me
kicking you
just
off
stop
this.
it and I'll start over.